So, episode 3. Hello, today we have Monica. Monica is a friend of mine who's based over in the United States of America. So we just wanted to get Monica's opinion and thoughts and a bit of real life info of what's happening at the moment over there. So, hello, Monica, how are you?
Hi, doing pretty well. Yourself?
Good. I'm okay. I'm a bit bored now at this stage. I'm on kind of week 2 of lockdown, coming into week 3. Stuck in this room Monday to Friday. My back and my shoulders are kind of getting, sore and stiff because I'm not moving enough. So, the same pains that everyone else is probably going through. And what about you? What's your situation and what's your story at the moment?
Well, we're not on full lockdown, but I've been working from home for the last, I'd say, 2 to 3 weeks. I think it's about 2 to 3 weeks. And we just last Tuesday, they issued a stay-at-home order.
Okay.
Where you only, unless you're like essential personnel, you have to stay in your house unless you're going to work or to the grocery store or something. But to kind of tell you how well that worked, the very next day, weather's getting really, really nice here. So we're entering into like our summer season, and Austin is such an outdoorsy place.
So you're in Austin, Texas, right?
Oh yes, I'm in Austin, Texas, and so it's really, really nice out here. There's tons of things to do outdoors, like there's the lakes, the trails, and so the trails were absolutely packed that very next day. So you can't really stay 6 feet apart from people when it's packed. And then everybody went to this place called like Barton Creek. There's a spring, a natural spring that runs into this pool, and the pool was locked down, but everybody was outside of the pool, just enjoying it. And so the mayor had to issue a statement telling people to stop doing that, or things are going to get worse. So it's almost abandoned by a parrot.
And do you, in terms of media or in terms of kind of government knowledge or kind of, announcements and stuff like that, kind of how serious is it being taken at the moment in the States? Because I was speaking with people in the UK that it's nowhere near as serious as it's being taken here in Ireland. I was speaking to a guy in the Netherlands just this morning, and again, similar sort of kind of situation that they're letting people be a little bit more free, but taking care of the elderly and the old and things like that a lot more. So there's different kind of people doing different things. What's it like for you at the moment over there? How serious is it being taken? How serious do you find it?
I think it's a little bit mixed. Depending on what news source you listen to, it's like mass hysteria or everyone stay calm. This is what you need to do. Try not to stock up. Like I think before it really hit here, and I don't even think it's actually really hit Austin. I think the only case that we found out about, and one of the reasons why we had to work from home, was there was someone from that was visiting the Dell location up in Round Rock and hopped on a flight back to India, and then he was tested positive, and so that's why we were sent home. But other than that, I haven't heard of anything local. I don't know. I'm thinking that's probably just because we don't really have access to proper testing. But there are a lot of people that just freaked out. Like I went to the grocery store with my sister last night, and the shelves are wiped out with basic products, and it's almost like they're preparing for, because we'll get bad well, not in Austin, but we'll get bad hurricanes like close to the Gulf, and people will stock up for that. And it's just like it's not a hurricane. Like I don't know why buying so much toilet paper.
Everyone's doing the same here as well. I think it's kind of what people seem and deem to be essential seems to be getting ripped apart, but I still find the essential things, the things like bread and milk, that you still have to go to the shop for every few days. Otherwise, it's not going to be right, Whereas toilet roll and tinned stuff and pasta and rice and anything that doesn't have a short sell-by date, use-by date, that stuff seems to get cleaned out, which is the stuff that can sit there on the shelf, right? So it doesn't make any sense to me. The guy that I was speaking to this morning was saying, he goes, the scary thing for him, or what he notices, is any movie that's ever been made that has kind of a dystopian ending for humans, this is how it all starts. Everyone ends up on lockdown, and it's kind of like, that's just been playing in the back of my head since I had that conversation about 4 hours ago. So Yeah, it's a strange one. It's a strange one. And in terms of work and productivity, how often did you work from home previously? Because I mean,
Yeah.
we worked for the same company, obviously in different
Mhm.
parts of the world, but I wasn't working from home too often. I've got kids. It wasn't something that I was comfortable with. I didn't have the space, even though, hey, let's be honest, I've found the space now when you make the space. So, before they were telling me, no, you can't do that. You've got this. The reality is we could have done it all along, right?
Yeah.
But how often did you work from home, or is this something easy for you to transition to?
Well, Calvin isn't the biggest fan of work from home. I think and I actually had a conversation with him about this right before we, weren't allowed back in the office. The only time we, worked from home was when we did really well and it was almost as a reward. But
Okay.
I didn't want to encourage it because nobody would work. And I told him, well, if work from home is seen as a reward, people are going to take it as a day off. But
Yeah, no doubt.
that's more routine, like whether it's 2 days during the week that you actually have to work, people realize, oh, if I treat those as vacation days instead of work days, I'm not going to get paid, so they're going to take it seriously. But I thought I would really enjoy it, and I think maybe on a smaller scale I would, but similar to what you said, I don't have this space. Like, I love my apartment. I have it set up, it's nice and cozy, but that's the issue I'm running into. I don't have an office space, and when I work, I like having that structured environment. So like I'm sitting on the floor right now using my coffee table, and I've come up with so many different options of how I can work. But then my dog, who I absolutely love, is the worst coworker, because if she's someone, walk by or someone's talking too loudly outside, like she'll bark. And I have to just kind of, when I start my demos, like, kind of
bribing the dog.
Yeah, well, I'll bribe her or say, hey, a dog barking.
Dog's going to be massive soon. Like, all the treats.
Oh, yeah. But people seem to be pretty understanding with that. In the beginning, before everybody was kind of on this like stay at home like warning, it was a little weird to tell them, oh yeah, we're working from home, because it was like, okay, you're overreacting. But then once everybody was made to stay inside, then it's a little bit more like sympathetic. It's like, okay, well, we understand,
we're all in the same boat now, right?
You might hear a kid in the background, and so we
about
it, and I think it kind of lets people's defenses down. But I also realize I'm a very social person, and when I'm by myself working, I'm driving myself crazy. I think I'm driving myself crazy. Like,
yeah, I get that feeling. I'm lucky enough, we've got the garden, so I can escape for a little while. My kids are out there playing; they've got space to do stuff, But I'm still in the baby's bedroom, And I bought a desk, and I went to work, and I stole a monitor. I didn't steal; I took and signed for. I signed for it, and a chair as well. So I've got a decent enough chair because I've got this little bit of space. But it is a very small bit of space, and I find myself tied to the desk and tied to being online more. If I'm in the office, I'll be strolling around the place and walking around and talking to people, and it would never be an issue because my line manager's there, their line man, and they know it's all work related. Whereas now I feel if I'm 5 minutes away from my desk and someone tries to get hold of me, and I shouldn't think like that because I look after and try and lead a team of 7 people, and if they don't get back to me in 10 minutes, then they don't. Again, kind of, I think it's just attitude, and there needs to be trust there, right? I think that's the main thing. And we're lucky enough, our team is good in that respect. I know that, in certain other teams and certain other countries, it's not as much. So I'm blessed what we've got.
I actually, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Like I had a heated argument with one of my friends. He's originally from Manchester, and so he moved over here maybe about a year or two ago. We were going on a walk, and that's one of the things that I've been doing a lot more is just like lunchtime walks, just to get out and talk with like a few friends, which have actually been really nice. And I'll probably, well, I can't do it unless they work towards the office. But anyways, so we were talking about it, and I had like my phone was going off during this time, and he didn't even bring his phone with him. And he was telling me that I need to like disconnect. And I shared with him, I was like, I'm not able to do that. I was told, even when I started, I hadn't responded to like an email. I think it had been an hour or so because I was doing something else. And I was told that I needed to be able to be reached at an instant. And I needed to be extremely responsive, even if it's outside of my work hours. Like, let's say, I mean, I work 9 to 6 on West Coast time. And so if I get an email at 7 from, someone rather important, I need to respond like ASAP, even if it's just a, okay, yes. And it was something like, no, that's not what you do. Like, you work from this time to this time, and you respond when you get back online. I was like, no, I can't. It's,
that
might be
work like that
over there, but no. And even, he's gotten on me when I go on vacation, like, and I'll still be looking at my email, and he's like, you need to completely unplug. Like,
yeah, and he's right, you do. I mean, yeah, like, and again, through these conversations, I was chatting to a friend of mine, which was kind of the test. I think you even listened to it yourself. I think I might have sent it to you. But he was saying that his CEO was like, what are we doing that's that important that can't wait? Is we're not saving lives. We're not on the front line. The important people are at work now. Do you know what I mean? Like at real work. When what we're doing isn't. It's made me open my eyes open anyway. Making me think, is what's the big deal with this? Is this the reality and what I need to be doing? But that's another story for another day. And so what kind of things are you missing? What you said you're a very social person. I never thought I'd miss the office, but I miss the office.
Same.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? What other things are you missing? What's been the pain for you?
Well, Austin is a very like outdoorsy social place, and it does revolve a lot around alcohol and like going out to eat. And since all of those places are, closed, like the bars are all closed, the restaurants, like you can do takeout, but a lot of those places, it's like you go there for the atmosphere, to sit outside and enjoy yourself, and that's all closed. So the first, I think, weekend, my friends that we were approaching were like, what do we do? What
yeah.
As I revolve, like going up.
How's this work?
Yeah. And so we actually, I had a little wine night and a sleepover as a grown adult. And it was one of those things where we movies and hung out, and it was with a small group of people. And it was actually really, really fun to spend that time kind of like reconnecting. And we were talking about like, why don't we do this normally? Like we'll go out and grab a drink, then we all, go home to our separate places. Like, why have we never thought of this? But then also kind of was weird was, and I heard it from multiple people that were there, it was like, nobody wants to post when they're doing something social, because then they have people that attack them for, like going on a walk with a friend or having a wine night with like 3 people. It's like,
yeah. So, I mean, I'm kind of thinking here when you're talking and you're saying about that you've all got together, like, isn't that defeating the whole purpose of kind of this isolation? And I'm not saying it's right or wrong or what's good or bad. I'm really just being devil's advocate and thinking about what we do here. So I've socially spent time with my friends through Face apps or House Party or all these different apps that are available. But yeah, in terms of actually going and meet, like, me and Kev get on really well. I speak to Kev every day. I've not seen Kev in 3 weeks. I've not been in his company in person. My wife hasn't seen, and here it was a big thing because it was Mother's Day recently, and all the mothers and the kids, like especially the grandmothers and who've got daughters and sons with children, they all have to stay separate. And a friend of ours, Jamie, that he's just had a baby recently, and his mother hasn't had the chance to hold the baby, so it's very much a stay away kind of thing. There wouldn't be a meeting a friend for a walk unless you were really doing the social distancing and keeping each other apart. But they're telling us to stay within your household, so I should only be in close proximity with the people inside my household. So that's the kind of the information we're being told. So I'd find that tough if I was living on my own. I've got a few people on my team who live on their own, and they're the ones I'm making sure I spend more time with because they're on their own,
Well, that's how it is with us. So like my friend, she just had a baby, and before all of this had happened, I had like a little bit of a cold, so I didn't want to, obviously meet the baby while I was still sick, and then everything happened, and so I've been like FaceTiming with her. And so when I am able to, obviously I really want to see it because this is the most adorable baby ever. But like I live like with my sister, and then my other friends, they live by themselves. And so we keep it very, very, like the people that we interact with, it's usually just the four of us. I don't spend time with those that, and we've kind of talked about it too, that are out with a bunch of random people and like aren't really taking it seriously. But I'm limiting the number of people that I come into contact with. And so it's these 3 friends. We do FaceTime every now and then. I have some friends that, you know, like they refuse to leave the house and like I'll drop off groceries or something for them, or, you know, and those people I'll FaceTime with more, but the other ones we're very social and like to do things outdoors. So those are the ones that like I'll go on like a walk with, even if it's just through the neighborhood, or, you know, when we did get together, we're only seeing each other. So it, I think, limits that amount of, I guess, exposure. But yeah, I mean, I still like, I would think if I didn't have, or, you know, if I had other people that I was living with or I was able to talk with as much, like it'd probably be a little bit better. But, you know, sometimes like my sister won't be here and you know, there's only so much I can talk to my dog about.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, she'll go into the other room and it's like, I need to take a nap. You're too much.
And again, it's just everyone, like, and everyone I've spoke to has been so different and had different things. So I think this is a good thing, you know. I think it's different places, it's different levels of, not, I think seriousness is the wrong word, but I don't know. Like, I think people take it in different ways, and I think the smaller countries that, you know, even though it's about the same percentage of death rate,
they're more compact.
3 billion people for you and 3 million people for us, do you know what I mean? The numbers are probably a bit scarier for us than they would be for you, do you know?
And it's different here in Texas because everything is a lot more spread out. Like my friend, he just moved here from New York, like right before all of this happened. And he was doing, I think, one of those like house party chats with his friends that are still in New York. And they are really, really close to their neighbors. Like, and it's on actual lockdown. It's taken a lot more seriously because it's so compact. Whereas here we're pretty spread out. Like the closest is my little complex. And even then, like people, like I don't run into that many people, you know. I have to drive a ways if I want to go, you know, to the store or get gas. So it's a little bit different. I think even here within the States, like depending on where you live. And Austin is still a big city. This weird, I think it's even different than like Dallas or Houston because it still has a lot of those outdoorsy type of places within a city element, and it's kind of large. Like we just grew out instead of growing up. So the people that I have that live downtown, which I'm just right south of downtown, like they aren't really going out because it's in the condo, like all the shops are New York vibe versus me just being right south of the river. I feel like I have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more breathing room. Because I'm not running into as many people.
Yeah. And what kind of things are you looking forward to getting back to? And then tell me, what are the things that you are happy to leave behind and not go back to?
I'm surprisingly looking forward to get back to the office. I do miss those people that I interact with. Also being able to spend, like really enjoy kind of like the summer here with a larger group of friends. I'm hoping that things kind of, you know, progress like kind of quickly, like, but in a positive way, you know, like it kind of like dies down a bit because I missed my sister-in-law's baby shower. That was canceled. We did it kind of virtually. I mean, the baby's due early May. My friend's supposed to be having her Hindu early May and then getting married in August. It's like there's a lot of things coming up that, you know, I have for people that I haven't seen because they're not in my immediate circle. And I'm really looking forward to seeing them and like celebrating these moments. But
is it going to happen now? Well, obviously the baby's going to happen, but is the celebration of that baby going to happen? Yeah.
Like, sorry, the baby's been canceled this year. The celebration's going to happen. But I think one of the things that I really do like about this, I don't know if I could say I like about, but is that I think it's forcing people to actually talk more, like face to face. Like I am not a big texter. I feel like there's no personality in texting, and I'm an overly sarcastic person, so things can come across wrong. But I like to see people. I like to hear their voice. Like that
Yeah.
energized. And I feel like it's truly connecting with people versus just sending a hey, how you doing text, you know?
Yeah.
And
I
then
agree. That's good.
having more of those, you know, like just kind of outdoor, like calm meetups, like going on these walks. And even, of course, you know, being honest, and a friend was like, oh, we can do wine walks now. Like just bring
Yeah. Everything's drink related. Like,
yeah,
oh, yeah.
yeah, everything is drink related. But you know, it's doing those kind of things and connecting on that level. Like I've actually liked, because I feel like some of my friendships have gotten a lot closer because of this. You know, it's forcing us to talk about things that aren't necessarily work related or extremely social related. Because there's, I mean, only so much you can talk about. I worked from home, and that's it.
Yeah. What are you watching on TV? Yeah, that's the only question you can ask, really, isn't it? Yeah. What's good? So
And there's so many seasons, like it's just ridiculous. I've had to just turn it off.
And have you tried to pick up any new skills, any hobbies? Have you tried to learn an instrument, a language, or anything like that? Or have you just decided to take it handy and take it easy?
I mean, I've been doing more like outdoor walk. My dog is, I think, tired of going on walks. Like we've been on some walks lately, and at first she was loving it, and now she's like, I don't want to. But I had bought this. It was a paint by numbers thing. Like you could send in a photo to this company, and they send you all the paints, and it's a paint by numbers. And it took me forever to do the one of my brother and sister-in-law that was supposed to be a gift that I'll just have to mail to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I have another one, and that's going to be my project because it's calming but also frustrating. Like
yeah. No, but that's a good idea. I kind of just thought you were asking the company to send you a picture of something, but now I get you're sending a particular photo of something, and then they send that back to you in a paint by numbers format.
Yes.
That's really good.
For them, which actually turned out really well, was from their wedding that I wasn't able to attend because I was in Croatia at the time, and it was like spur of the moment. Like they got engaged, and then it was like 2 months later, they're like, let's just get married. And it turned out really well. And the other one is my dog, because I feel like she deserves to be painted, you know?
Yeah, man.
Deserves to have her portrait there. So.
Cool. That sounds fun, actually. That's a really good idea. What's the name of that company that is it? An American company, or I suppose they can send that globally, surely?
Well, it's called like Mii Creative, like Mii Creative, but I think it was sent from China, so I don't think they're sending things out.
They can. Are they good? They're all right.
Oh,
I'm still
getting.
Maybe there's still products coming from China, man. That's all good.
What about you? Any new instruments?
No, not at all. No, I haven't even played any of the ones that I can barely play as it is. I haven't even picked them up. I'm just like, because we're working, you know, I'm working Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and my wife then is dealing with being a school parent, a school teacher, a parent, a PE teacher, you name it, she's doing it through the day. And then I come down and I just become a punch bag. So Dad, come on the trampoline and we're all going to beat you up. So that's all good.
Was she a teacher beforehand?
No, it's just because all the kids can't go to school. Every parent now has become a teacher. They have to become a teacher. So
it's funny because I actually went to school and I was a teacher for a little while, and I loved it so much. But I mean, especially here in Texas, like you don't make that much money, and it gets really repetitive, especially with the curriculum. Like you have to teach to the test, and there's really no leeway, so you can't.
Yeah, I'm not one for teaching passing tests. I want to teach my kids to question everything and just, you know. But yeah, every parent in the world is pretty much becoming a teacher, right?
And my teacher friends are like, they're really sad because they miss their students, and a lot of them are doing like you know, like Zoom meetings with their class, and to see how excited the kids get that they can just see their friends and see their teachers and get back to it. It's
really good. My kids have done the same. The Zoom meetings have happened. Their actual friends they'll have a chat with kind of once a week rather than just the whole class. The teachers are sending schoolwork out, and they've got different apps that they've kind of sent links to that we can log in, and they can send messages to the kids and things. So it's been quite good, you know, and everyone's adapting. It's been really good in them respects. But yeah, no, I haven't learned anything. I bought an exercise bike today because I've just not been able to kind of go very far. I have a bike there, but like you said, everyone's doing the same thing. When it gets to the time when I'm not working from home hours, and I can get out, the place is jammed full of everyone else doing the same thing. So I've got this exercise bike. It can go in the garden, or if it's not so sunny, we can go in the shed and I can just get in there and get on it. So if it's raining, so we'll be we can all do a bit of exercise now. I'm lucky enough, my garden's quite long that I can kick a football with the kids, and we've got a trampoline and basketball kind of net that they can have, so there's plenty of entertainment within the confinement. And they're all mad in their gaming and stuff. But in terms of me picking up anything new, this is what I've been doing new. I've been doing podcasts. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. This is my access to the outside world as well, and everything in between. So it's been quite good. And like I say, while I'm working, my missus is working with the kids. So when I'm not working, I have to share that load and take a bit off her. So yeah, I think everyone's struggling. I'm getting to the point where it's getting tough now. I think this week is going to be a tough week, and then we'll see what happens. Hopefully, like again, we're not. I don't even think we're halfway through from what they're telling us. They're telling us it's going to be another 12 weeks, so that's 3 months.
Yeah, I'm
that's
interested to see like how long it's going to get, because I don't know how long we'll be able to have everything closed down before people realize like this is going to be extra bad like for the economy, and I feel like that's going to go the wrong way about things and like open stuff up before it's ready. And I feel like there's just going to be another wave of like it being even worse.
Yeah.
Then on the opposite end of that, I think a lot of businesses are going to find that there are a lot of positions that they can do remote, and maybe they can cut costs on that without having to pay for all the everything that goes into operating a physical building. You may be able to have like, a third of your workforce be remote primarily and save money that way. So
yeah, I agree. I think it's going to go that route. It's scary as well. I don't want that. I need the social side of it.
Same.
If they said to me, "Congratulations that you're working from home forever," I'll be like, "Congratulations, you need to find a new person to do this job."
Well, I used to think that I was going crazy, like being like stuck in an office, because I've been in previous sales roles where I was face to face with my customers. And so I was, like going crazy in the office, and now I'm like in my house. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I complained.
Yeah, there's just no escape from it when you're just in your house. There's no when you close the laptop down, you're still in the same place you have been doing your business all day. So,
yeah, there's no separation of work versus like home time. It's all
there's no commute either to kind of zone out or zone in. So yeah.
So I have been able to actually make breakfast and like enjoy my tea or my morning coffee. That I like. But I think when everything goes back to it, I also enjoy my sleep more. So I don't think that I'll wake up and do that.
I just hope there's a bit more variation and freedom in options, really, like and real true options. If you want to work from home, work from home. If you want to come into the office, come into the office. If you want to do it 1 day a week, 3 days a week, you shouldn't have a schedule. You should just be able to, there's certainly going to be people that need to work in an office for the actual role that they do. So, there's no reason why you can't have a few extra desks for the people that want to come in when they want to come in, But yeah, it's one of them. I don't know. Who knows what we'll all be doing? We could all be here in another few years doing the same thing. I don't know. I hope not. Hope not. Cool. So we're at 27 minutes, 28 minutes. We'll start wrapping up. All is good there. So what is the one thing that you hope will come out of this that will change things for the future?
I mean, I don't know. I hope that people do like realize or not take for granted like the people that they interact with. That they keep that kind of social connection that we've been forming with them in the last couple of weeks. Like they keep that going. But also like I do hope that people kind of learn from this scenario. I think that the way that everybody reacted to the initial news of the pandemic, like everybody's freaking out, and I don't feel like this is going to be the worst thing that happens within our lifetime. And so hopefully, hopefully it is, but where that things go, like things always, kind of increase and get relatively worse. And so I hope that this is something that we can learn from and like almost use it as like a case study on, okay, if we run into something that is as serious or worse, like how are we going to approach this? Like when do we need to reach out to people? When do we need to enforce things a little bit more and be stricter? Like what do we need to stock up on so that it limits the amount of panic that people have? And
you're just saying this as a preparation for part 2, right?
Yeah.
Seems.
Well, I mean, isn't that part of like, you know, growing? It's like you learn from your mistakes, you learn from the past, and you try to prepare for the future. And I don't think that the way that, or at least here, the fact that, you know, everybody was just out and about in close proximity to one another. Like I at least try to keep my distance from other people, but you know, people just didn't really take it seriously. Like, and people were still out at the bars, and they're like, you should probably stay home. Like everybody, like the bars were still packed. Patty's Day on a Tuesday, everybody was still out.
Yeah.
And then, funny enough, the next day is when that stay-at-home order went into effect.
Okay.
So
there you go. Cool. Well, lovely. Thank you very much for the time. It was a great conversation, and I will log off now and finish, and I'll send you a little listen before we publish.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Cool. Thank you. Stay safe.
You too.
Take care. Bye-bye.